Hello dears, and welcome back to the channel Benidorm by Anna, where we show you a lot of interesting and useful information from Benidorm town and Spain in general. Today we are on our lovely beach of Albir here right near the anchor, and as usual early in the morning. It's 8:40 right now because it's the only possible time when you can actually film something on the outside with the heat wave right now. They are doing this amazing Tai Chi class. So with this run right there behind us, we will start today's latest news update. As for this situation, I want to say that really Spain is not talking as much right now about the COVID cases. We know that they are rising. We know that there is an issue. However, Spain is not concerned about it anymore. They are monitoring the situation in the hospitals and in the ICU units. But apart from that, no major concerns in here. Everything as usual, everything as normal. About the strikes of the airline companies, you know that EasyJet was going on strike in July. They still do have some strike days in July, but especially on the weekend, which are the busiest days ever. There are no such huge collapses any longer in the airports here in Spain. However, some flights are still getting delayed, so don't be surprised about that, especially if you're traveling on weekend, and make sure you check it in advance just in case, so that you would be prepared for it. The second news that I wanted to share with you all obviously comes from our Valencian community, and it's something that you've been waiting for a really long time. A few days ago, I was telling you about the tourist. It's not a tax. They've called it in a different way because it kind of seemed that it wasn't going to be obligatory, you know, for some of the municipal halls. They'll just decide whatever they want to do, each one of them. But right now, what happened is that the government here in Valencian community, the three political parties, they've approved this touristic tax. And what they actually did is to call it as a proper tax, not as something voluntary to do here. So yesterday this got approved for Valencian community. They do say that it's not going to be taking place up until 2024, so we still have 2 years of tax-free tourism here in Valencian region. So this is not an issue so far. They are starting to make this law right now, which is going to take some time, but they've already gave us some details on what's going to be happening. It's very strange because they still say that each and every town or village will be able to decide by themselves on what to do with it and if they want to implement this tax or not. Valencia town as it is, for example, the mayor of this area, what they said is they are in favor of this tax because how he basically said it with his own words, he would rather charge tourists for the taxes and for the you know, like the usage of all the touristic areas than for the locals. So Valencia is in favor of it. We know it already, although we need to see up until 2024, maybe things will change, but so far Valencia is in favor of the touristic tax. What's happening in Benidorm? Basically, the mayor of Benidorm, he made a press conference yesterday, and he let publicly know that he is against this touristic tax, that nothing has changed, that he does not want to implement it in the town. However, he did not say he's not going to do so. He just said that he feels that he's not approving it, and he knows it's going to be an absolute disaster, an absolute ruin for the tourism sector here in Valencian community, especially the towns and villages that depend so much on tourism as Benidorm is actually doing right now. And always did, basically, since the tourism came to our region. So he did not say, he did not deny it, he did not say that they're not going to be charging this tax. So we don't know it so far. Probably they will. Since it's a tax, someone has to pay for it. And it's not going to be as voluntary as these three political parties did mention previously. What is this tax actually for? It's for all tourists, both national and international tourists that will be arriving to our region. And they say it's going to be all touristic type properties, which will include touristic apartments, villas, houses that you will rent, bungalows, campsites, campings, everything that is touristic related and has a license to operate as a touristic place. If it's your own house here in Spain and you're coming for holidays only, obviously you will not need to pay for it, but because it's your own home. Or if you're staying at someone's house, you know, but if you're paying for your holidays in here, for your stay, you will need to pay the tax. What they are saying, it's going to be starting from 50 cents for pensions and campings up until €2. So €2 is going to be an absolute maximum charge. In hotels, there are luxury hotels considered, which are 4-star superior and 5-star ones. This is going to be for a day of stay per person. So obviously, if you're a big family, if you're coming to a luxury 5-star hotel, then it's going to be slightly expensive if you're staying for a long time. But if not, usually most of the hotels will be charging like around €1, €1.50 maximum per night per person. This is how it's going to be happening. And it's not only, I think it's called a levy or a levy, something like that. It's not only that, it's an official tax right now already in here. So this will punish definitely the economy of our region. However, we still have a faith that something will happen up until 2024. And at the moment when the authorities will need to decide whether to implement the tax in a specific village of our Valencian community, they will decide not to do so. But we'll see. So far, we know that officially the tax has been approved. Sadly, but true. And the last news that I wanted to share with you all is very, very important for all those of you who want to explore our region. A lot of you were asking me what's happening with the train line that goes from Benidorm up until Denia, because you knew, those of you who are coming to the region not only once or twice, you already knew that the line that you can use to go from Benidorm up until Denia town, very, very inefficient way if you don't have a car, for example, with you. What was happening is that in 2016, so basically 6 years ago already, this line was shut down. Some of the parts, better to say, of this line, starting from Teulada, more or less, they were shut down up until Denia because some of the bridges in there passing, they just were not supporting the weight already, and was really, really dangerous to let the train pass through that area. So what was happening eventually is that they were leaving some bus service. So the train stopped and then the bus was taking the people through all these stops. This was a free service kind of included in the price of a ticket of a train when you paid for it. And it was taking a really, really long time. Right now, they've officially said that starting from today, the small piece of a tram, of the train, started to work again up until Teulada. And the train from Teulada towards Denia is still not working. They're finishing that area. It's quite an extensive area to do. By the way, the total project is like 30 million euros, which is a big amount. And what they're saying is that they're going to open it early 2023. So early next year in winter, I suppose, if it says early, they will reopen the whole line again. So you will be able to travel comfortably from Benidorm towards Denia and backwards with a train without a necessity to get out, search for a bus stop, although it's all really, really good indicated, so you don't need to be afraid that you will get lost. You can always ask people, do you speak English in here, without no issues at all. And at the same train stop where you will stop, people will be indicating you where to take the bus. So you still can get on the adventure and try and travel towards Denia. It's really, really nice place, and I definitely recommend you to explore our lovely Benidorm's area because there's so much to see in here. For example, this beach right here in Albir. Definitely, if you will be here in the area, come here, take a closer look, just visit this area because it's absolutely amazing. It's like staying in a total paradise, 100% different from what Benidorm is. And there are a lot of places like this here in the area, so don't be afraid. Explore, take the train, take the bus, take anything that you want just to see how much this area has to offer, because it's a lot more than just food, than just drinks, bars, restaurants and nightclubs. And now let's talk about the weather. What is waiting for all those of you who will be coming to Spain in the next couple of days? First of all, I want to alert you that we're still in a heat wave. This heat wave was not supposed to be that big, I must say, and we were kind of knowing what we're getting ourselves into, that this heat wave is very dangerous, but it was supposed to be just a few days, and right now they say it's going to be up until next Thursday probably, so one more week. This is one of the most extensive and intense as well heat waves that we've had here in Spain in the last couple of years. So you need to protect yourself seriously. Please, if you're coming to our area, protect yourself really well. It's not a joke. Yesterday, I was not supposed to say it because I don't want to be negative, but yesterday more than 6 people were drowning on the beach areas due to the extreme heat. They went from extreme heat on the beach towards the colder water, even though it's not as cold, but the temperature difference is quite big. And 4 people sadly drowned yesterday here in our region. A lot of them got basically not a sunburn, but like a sun attack, heat attack, you know, like a heat wave attack, and were in the hospital. Some of them died as well. It was only yesterday, in one single day, more than 6 people got into the hospital, and quite a few of them did end with their life basically. So you need to be very careful, please. If you go to the beach, don't stay on midday too much on the sun. Use sun hats, take umbrellas, rented ones from the beach, buy your own in a Chinese store, which is like 4 or 5 euros to put it in here. Drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself really well. Don't go to the water if you have just eaten, because it might get into indigestion. It's very dangerous too. Don't get too drunk. If you drink, don't get too much inside the water, like in shallow, like deep waters, you know, because it's really dangerous. And trust me, you don't want your holiday to turn into a nightmare. You want a really nice holiday to remember here in Spain. So have that in mind if you're coming, because the heat wave is really dangerous, and it does not seem that something might happen, but it might, and really fast. With this heat wave, all the area obviously is without any single cloud at all, as you can see right here in the sky. The weather is just gorgeous. However, it's getting too warm already, starting from the 9:30 in the morning. What is happening with the temperatures right now? Temperatures will be quite high, I must say, and right now we already are reaching like 28-29 degrees, and it's not even 9 in the morning. However, here today we'll have around 33-34 degrees, the same in Alicante, in Barcelona 35, Granada 39, Malaga 34, Sevilla 43 today. Madrid will have 40 degrees, which is typical and usual for Madrid area to have these days. And the rest of the towns, for example, like Murcia, will have around 38, Balearic Islands 33, Canarian between 24 and 29, which is usual temperature for them also. Rare case they have more than 30, which is a heat wave already for them considered. And Valencia 34 degrees today. Temperatures will keep rising up the next couple of days, and as I've said to you already, up until Wednesday, Thursday next week, we will have this heat wave with really high temperatures here in the area. And the water temperature, surprisingly, it's already 26.9 degrees. It's basically 27 degrees right now, the water in here, which is crazy. Usually that's like this at the end of August, not even so. And right now, mid-July, we already have these really warm water temperatures. We're almost hitting all records here in the area. But it's nice to swim and still quite refreshing. This was the latest news update from Spain and Benidorm town. I hope you enjoyed watching it. And if you're coming on holidays to Spain, I wish you to have an amazing time, explore, try the food, and enjoy your vacations. I'll see you very soon in the next video from our lovely Benidorm area. Bye!